C'è la luna in mezzo mare, mamma mia, mi maredate.
Welcome to Antons Pasta Bar, where everyone is told never to leave hungry. Coined as Vancouver's original pasta bar and located in the neighborhood of North Burnaby, Antons has developed a reputation as a local legend for over 25 years because of its reasonable prices, delicious pasta, and enormous portions of food. We had the rare opportunity to speak with the man who started it all, Tony Morrow, and listen to his personal story of how Antons became what it is today. Starting with the question, where is he from?
Calabria. Calabria is the south part of Italy. Me, when I was a little boy back, I used to, you know, kids sell Kool-Aid. I used to sell wine. Way back in the 50s, after all Europeans, they used to emigrate to Canada or the States. Like my dad came before I did, the early 50s, and for a better opportunity, job, I guess. And the reason I came over here, I used to get beatings from my mom. And I rebel. I said, I want to go see my dad. I don't want to stay here. Okay. So that's what I did. I was, 14, 15. I came by boat. I'm a poor person. 11 days by boat. I came on my own. There were other Europeans, Italians, immigrants, Spaniards, Italians. And I came from Naples, Italy, to Halifax, Nova Scotia, 11 days. And then from Halifax to Vancouver by train, 6 days. I was fine. I mean, first was tough. I grew up in Chinatown. And in Chinatown, little Italy, was side by side. Okay. And I went to New Canadian class in Seymour, right on Keeper Street. And I was learning Chinese instead of English. Because in my class, they were all Chinese boys, Cantonese. You know, nobody spoke English. So I picked up like Chinese. I guess some old Italians are still there. Not many though, but very few. But then Chinatown got bigger, you know, and the Italians started moving. You guys kicked us out. But for some reason, you go to San Francisco, it's the same thing. You get Chinatown, and then you get Columbus, little Italy. You know, it doesn't matter where you go. I don't know. It's something about Marco Polo. This is the P&E.
Oh, okay.
Way back in the late 50s, right there.
Which one are you?
I'm the one with the guitar. That's the Granville Street right here.
Myself, I am from Naples, the province. Anyways, I come from a small town called Ponte, which is the capital of it is Benevento, so that's where I come from. So I am from closest to Naples and Rome, in that area. I'm inland. We met Tony when I came from Italy. My family was living in the east end of Vancouver, and his family was around that area. Even though they're a couple of years older than me, it was like we used to hang out together at certain areas in east end of Vancouver, and that's how I first met him. He was just coming. He just came from Italy too. So we got to know because we were all going at the same. In those days, there was an A&W that we used to hang out with at Templeton and Hastings, I think it was.
I knew Frank for a long time. When he used to work for White Spot, you know, so we were friends.
Upon reflecting on his personal story, we then asked Tony about how the restaurant came to be.
Started when I used to go to restaurants, have dinner, and I used to go home and eat again. You know, I mean, I bet you it happened to you. you order dinner, you got to go home. You go home not hungry again. That's the way it started. So I make sure everybody, actually it's not too bad right now, but when I first started, I made sure people picked out. Like, if you're hungry, hey, you want more? On the house. It was going to be called Antonio. My name is Antonio. Yeah. But Antonio was another restaurant called Antonio, so I couldn't use it. So a lot of people used to call me Antons for short. I figure either Antons or Tony. So we went with Antons. I did all my cooking. I did all my pasta. I used to make fresh pasta right from the start. I did the cleaning. I did the cabinet. I did everything. The menus actually, when I first started, the menu was about only a very small, 3 or 4 dishes that we had way back in 1983, maybe 4 or 5. And then slowly, I never did take cooking classes or anything. I knew how to cook. Somebody, maybe it's mama or my dad, or we all knew how to cook in the family. But also, when you're cooking, it's an art. You got to be creative. Okay, it doesn't matter what you do in life. You have to like what you're doing. Okay, especially when you create a dish. Okay, and then that dish goes to the table, and you watch the people go. It makes you feel good. But then at the same time, you have to like what you're doing, and always feel like cooking, and I like the people.
The menu was totally designed by Tony. He worked for all the recipes and stuff like that. I think most of it is some of them is by trial and error, but a lot of it was recipes handed down to him by his mom. He looked some recipes up, obviously, because our menu is so huge. We've got about 76 or 78 dishes on our menu.
Very simple dishes we had first. They got tomato sauce, meat sauce, the Alfredo sauce, the one very simple carbonara. You sort of create. You think about it. You read books, or you listen to Mama, or be creative, and you can put add to it, 2 at a time, or another, and another, and another. And this is the way it started. Or some of the cooks come up and say, "Hey, Tony, I have a dish for you. Let's try it." So they were a big help too. Also, you don't get that many Italians there. You get the new generation Italians, younger Italians. The old Italians, they eat at home. Mama cooks. So, but the young ones, yes. Same with the young Chinese. Like we have a lot of Asian clientele. We have.
When we first were up there, we used to get more like people from the area, and not as many a diversity, not as many Asian and South Asian and stuff like that. But because of you guys coming in and telling your friends and telling their friends, so on, so now we get a lot more people, coming here from different ethnic groups and come in here. They love the place because the menu is designed in a way that you can find whatever you like on our menu.
Yes, we do get some from Burnaby. Yes, we do. And over the years, like Tony said, the clientele change. People get married, have families, they move out, but they do come back.
Well, we do have regular customers that come in here, but a lot of the customers don't want to wait. So they come in here, but it's not like it's the same people that come here the same day and all the time. No, we don't have like a regular base, but we do have repeat customers a lot. And started I think in the past, what was happening with Antons, so Tony's philosophy has always been, if you can finish your plate, I'll give you a little bit more. That's how we become such a big, huge hit and so on. And I think over the past years, it progressed from that to we were giving out T-shirts, and then it got to be a little bit too expensive. Then it became into a pen situation where we give out a pen. Now, if you finish your whole plate, like the shirt I'm talking about, like a dinner plate, then you get a pen that says I ate the whole thing.
The quality of the food remains, pretty constant. It's always tasty, and you always get treated well. The people are, they're always friendly, nice, and yeah, it's good. It's close to where we work, and a lot of the sauces are different from other, places you go to. It just seems to have their own flavors and tastes. I think a lot of it, I think they home do a lot of their sauces and but it's very very tasty, very good. And so becoming over 20 years. Yeah.
It became clear that hard work and dedication helped create the success Antons has today. We then asked both Tony and Frank what made Antons so special.
Proud of what I accomplished, but not just me, what I accomplished, also the staff helped a lot too. For example, I let the staff involved of my say new ideas or whatever, and we go for that. It's not just me, the staff too.
I think our staff, actually, to tell you the truth, the staff that we have, they work hard, they work well, and they're good. They're good with customers and so on. And we don't really get a lot of turnover here, staff. So we have our staff that we have here is been with us for quite a while.
I have worked here for 2.5 years, a great 2.5 years. This is the first restaurant that I've ever worked at, and they have trained me wonderfully, and I don't even think I could ever leave this place for another restaurant, to tell you the truth.
I think Tony's philosophy is that, as long as people are happy, they keep on coming back. As long as they're happy, they keep on coming back. And we've been very, very fortunate to have a line for, I say, at least 20 years. It's been lined up here every day and stuff. And we definitely are working with that all the time to make sure that we don't destroy that image, right? And if you don't look after the business, look after the product, look after the training, and look after customer services and everything else, we would never have these lines. I think our reputation is mostly word of mouth, and we don't do a lot of advertising other than just local newspapers and stuff. Other than that, it's just people, driving by here looking and saying what's going on, and then there's people like you guys that come in from universities and so on to talk to your friends, and they talk to their friends and stuff, and that's how it's an Italian family. As long as you have respect, is what makes it. So, and I think that's from Tony all the way down to a lot of the staff that work here. I think that we respect each other.
You treat people well. Yeah, it's not, people get it's reasonable price. The food is good, and you get a big portions. You take it home with you. You can eat it the second day. And people are happy with it. They don't get a small portion like I used to get when I used to go to restaurants. And, yeah, they're happy. People, it's reasonable.
La gangare e dove e dove ne sembrano usati c'è manetene. Se ti piace i maccheroni.
I got into. Wow. Start the beginning. Okay, let's.